From Edward, question on writing fiction. Have you ever written anything on the craft of writing fiction? When questioned on the subject in interviews, you always give very useful advice. You once quipped in a show that the only secret you know is how to write an effective action scene. I am the best action writer in America. As your novels prove, you have indeed mastered this and other technical aspects of writing. I think there are a lot of us who would be interested in reading more from you on things like outlining a story, character development, good openings, and so on. If you yourself have not written anything like this, could you recommend something? I've never actually read a good book on writing. I've read good books about the craft of writing. Stephen King wrote a good book called On Writing that I enjoyed. It's funny. There is a tape of this somewhere. It's kind of a funny story. I once was asked to give a speech to a class, a writing workshop. And I never do this, but I agreed to it. I guess a friend asked me or something like this. And he said, all you have to do, all they want to know is how do you get an agent? That's all they want to know. How do you get an agent? How do you get started? I said, fine. So a week before I'm supposed to give this speech, the pamphlet shows up. That's the syllabus of what speeches are going to be given. And it says, Andrew Klavan gives a master class on how to write a thriller. So I called the guy up and I said, what the hell, man? You said all I had to do was tell them how to find an agent. He said, that's all they want. Don't worry about it. Don't worry what it says in the book. Just tell them how to find an agent. That's all they'll care about. So I thought, well, no, I can't do that now. It says I'm going to give a master class on writing a thriller. So I put together a speech on how to write a thriller, and I started giving this speech, and I had one of those moments in the middle of the speech where I realized I was on fire. I was giving a master class on how to write a thriller. It was some of the best. I was sitting there as I'm talking, thinking, man, I wish I'd heard this speech when I started out. I didn't have to learn all this stuff. I was telling them how to write action scenes, how to build suspense, how to build characters in suspense, how to match characters. I just thought, this is great. This is great. And I finished, and I thought, wow, these kids have really got something here. And a hand went up, and the guy said, how do you find an agent? So I thought, well, that was a waste of time. This thing it is on tape somewhere if you can find it, but I've never written anything about it. It is a subject. There is practical information that you can learn about writing, but in the end, the best thing you can do is read. And people always say to me, what book should I read? And I should tell them there are 100 books that you should read. The classics, read the classics, read the great books, read the books in your field, read the genre books that you want to write in, read. And so when people say, what book should I read? It's like, my answer is all of them. That's how you learn how to write.